بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is the Unit 1 writing. But before we do that, let's revise what we previously took in the speaking lesson. And remember the theme of this unit. The theme of this unit is to laugh and to tell jokes and about laughter and the benefits of laughing and so on. So if you remember in our previous lesson here, we filled this chart, people and things that makes me laugh. My brother makes me laugh. And of course, you remember me telling you to fill the chart with your own answers. This is me. So try to answer your own answer. People and things that make you laugh. I said here, my brother makes me laugh. Things, jokes, stories, and events that I find funny. I said knock-knock jokes and also stand-up comedy events. Things that make my friends laugh. I said animal jokes, just like the cat and the mouse. Things that are things that prevent me from laughing when the joke isn't funny, when I don't understand the joke. The way I feel when I laugh, I feel happy, I feel relaxed, I feel in a good mood, of course. What scientists say about laughter, I said it's good for your health. The scientists said that laughter is good for your health. And what I think about laughter, I said here that it is the best medicine, of course. So these are today's objectives: to analyze a text about a sitcom. So what is a sitcom? We will be learning that today. Answer questions about the script. Write a description for the final scene to the sitcom. Write the scripts of sitcoms according to reviews. So focus your attention on the picture, page 14. So if you open your book, page 14 here, focus on the picture. Discuss what you see in pairs. Think about where the people are, what they are doing, and why they are laughing. So if you open your book, page 14, the writing lesson, you will see the picture of people sitting, watching TV, of course. So, and of course, they are what? Laughing. So try to come up with many things to say about the picture with your colleague, of course. What are they doing? Why are they laughing? And so on. So think about where the people are, where are they, the place, what they are doing, and why they are laughing. So sitcom, do you know the meaning of this word sitcom? What is it? Of course, we'll be learning what a sitcom is, but do you know it? When you say I'm watching a sitcom, yes, for example, a TV series that it's, of course, it's a comedy. The sitcom, it's a comedy TV series that, of course, makes you laugh. This is just a general definition of a sitcom. So a sitcom is a program on TV that makes us laugh. What is a sitcom? These are the questions we'll be answering today. Read the text and find out about sitcoms. Think of sitcom you have watched. Do we enjoy watching them? Why? Why not? Who are your favorite characters and why? So we'll be reading a text now or listening to a text and answering what is a sitcom. I will find out about sitcoms. Think of sitcoms you have watched before. Do you enjoy watching them? Why, if you do, and why not if you don't? Who are your favorite characters? Of course, if you watch a sitcom, you will have some favorite characters. And why are they your favorite? So this is the article we'll be reading. You notice the question above here. Read and highlight key features or words for each period or each date. You notice here the periods or the dates, the 1940s, 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, until now. So through this article, we'll be answering which key features or words each period or date has. So let's listen together.
Sitcom is a situation comedy without an ending. It consists of episodes, but the situation goes on. The television sitcom was born in the 1940s and 1950s. It had originally existed as a radio show that listeners would tune into every week to spend some time with familiar characters they grew to know and liked. When television arrived in the late 1940s, shows were filmed in front of a live studio audience, with 3 cameras recording everything for later editing. In the 60s, sitcoms combined fantasy with comedy and used a laugh track instead of a live studio audience. In the 70s, social issues were included, but in the 80s there was a return to the original family concept, the most important success factor behind sitcoms. Nowadays, shows are filmed with a single camera, on location or on studio sets, with no laugh track or live audience.
So now that we have listened to the article and we have a question, so many questions before, let's answer the first one here regarding the periods of time. Sitcom is a situation comedy from the word sit-com, situation comedy. Notice we took the first 3 words, S-I-T-C-O-M, this is it, sitcom. It's a situation comedy without an ending. It consists of episodes. Of course, when we watch TV, we watch episodes, but the situation goes on, so the story goes on and on. The television sitcom was born in the 1940s, so pay attention to the dates here. So we'll be answering all of these questions. The sitcom was born in 1940s and 50s. It had originally existed as a radio show. So in the beginning, in the 40s and 50s, it was just a radio show that listeners would tune into every week to spend more time with familiar characters they grew to know and liked. When television arrived in the late 40s, television arrived, shows were filmed in front of live studio audience. So now they moved from the radio to the TV in front of live studio audience in the late 40s, with 3 cameras recording everything for later editing. In the 60s, pay attention here, sitcoms combined fantasy with comedy and used laugh track, not real people, just audio tracks with people laughing instead of live studio audience. In the 70s here, what happened in the 70s? Social issues were included, but in the 80s, there was a return to the original family concept, the most important success factor behind sitcoms. Nowadays, shows are filmed with a single camera, so just one camera, on location or on studios sets with no laugh track or live audience. So I think we have answered all of these periods or dates, but just let's make sure that we've answered them correctly. So let's begin with the 40s. What happened in the 40s? Yes, in the 1940s, filmed in front of live studio audience, 3 cameras, later editing. Also, from the 40s to the 50s, sitcom was born, weekly radio show, familiar characters. So we just answered the 40s and the 50s. Also here, the 60s, very good, fantasy and comedy. They also introduced the laugh track, not in front of real audience, just a recorded audio. Also here in the 70s, sitcoms began to discuss social issues. Also the 80s, they returned to a family concept. So instead of social issues, they returned to some family concept and the success factor. And now, single camera or location or studio set, no laugh track, no live audience. So nowadays, sitcom, they gave up the live audience, they gave up the laugh track, just one camera in the studio, and this is it. So read the excerpt of the sample script below and find out who the main characters are, what has happened. So we'll be reading from the sample of the script and we'll be answering these questions. Who are the main characters? So pay attention to the main characters. And what happened? What has happened in the script? So this is what we'll be reading and we'll be answering the questions for. So pay attention to the main characters here and also focus on what has happened here. Let's listen.
Act 1, Scene 1, Inked. Living room, morning, day 1, Bill, Kevin. Kevin runs into the living room wearing his tracksuit and notices a letter on the table near the door. As he tries to open it, Bill walks in with a funny look on his face, pointing to the letter. Kevin, excited. Look. I got it. I'm a university student. Bill, at a loss, attempting to stop him. But, Kevin rushes out the door, holding the envelope as bits of confetti start falling out, marking his trail. Bill stands at the door shaking his head. He is holding another letter in his hand. Bill. Kevin, you never stop. That letter. It was an advertisement. Scene 2, Extension Schoolyard. 20 minutes later, Kevin is running around the school trailing confetti.
So now that we have listened to it, let's read it together bit by bit. Act 1, Scene 1, interior here in the living room. Morning, day 1, Bill and Kevin. So I think this answers a question. Kevin runs into the living room wearing his tracksuit and notices a letter on the table near the door. So there's a letter. As he tries to open it, Bill walks in with a funny look on his face, pointing to the letter. So Bill knows something here because he's walking with a funny look on his face and he's looking and pointing at the letter. Kevin, while he is excited, look, I got it. I'm a university student. Bill, at a loss, attempting to stop him. So he's trying to stop him, but he didn't succeed. He said, but, what happened next? Kevin rushes out the door, holding the envelope as a bit of confetti star falling out, marking his trail. So the confetti star, which were falling from the envelope, made a trail. Bill stands at the door, shaking his head. He is holding another letter in his hand. Bill, Kevin, you never stop. That letter, it was an advertisement, so it's not a real letter. Scene 2, exterior, which means outside, in the schoolyard. 20 minutes later, Kevin is running around the school trailing confetti and so on. So now I think you understand how scripts work, and I think you understand the things happening here in this script, and also, if you remember, the main characters of the script. So, who are the main characters in the script? Who are they? Yes, Bill and Kevin. Bill and Kevin. What has happened? Can you summarize the whole thing? What has happened between Kevin and Bill? Kevin ran into the room wearing something and he found something on the table. So let's try to summarize it here. Kevin seizes a letter, reads it and gets excited before dashing out. Bill is trying to explain something, but Kevin rushes out of the door and doesn't notice Bill. So Kevin finds out a letter. He thinks this is a letter from the university, while Bill is running after him and he's following the trail of the confetti. He said this is not a real letter. It's just an advertisement. B, scene 2 here. Kevin receives the following messages on his voicemail. Read the messages and say who has left the messages and why. So we'll be reading the messages voicemail for Kevin, and we will try to guess who are they from and why. Discuss how Kevin will feel when he reads them. So the first letter here, or the first message, let's say, hi Kevin, this is Dad. Your brother has told us the wonderful news. Congratulations, son. We are very proud of you. The second message, hi Kevin, this is your bro, Bob. Well done. Do you want my help with moving your things? Call me. The third one here, hello Kevin, This is Mr. Jackson from university admission. Unfortunately, we don't have any record of an offer of a university place for you. Please, will you contact us at 234-7684 extension 43. Thank you. So, these are the messages to Kevin. As said in the question before, Kevin receives the following messages in his voicemail. Read the messages and say who has left the messages and why did they leave it. Also, we will discuss how Kevin will feel when he reads them. So the first one here, who left the message for Kevin and why, and how does Kevin feel after he heard the message? The first one here, hi Kevin, this is Dad. Your brother has told us the wonderful news. Congratulations, son. We are very proud of you. So this is an obvious one. Kevin's dad left the message to the reason to congratulate him. So how does Kevin feel here? Kevin feels proud, and of course, he will feel happy. So Kevin's dad left the message to congratulate him. Kevin feels proud and happy. Number 2, the message says, hi Kevin, this is your bro Bob. Well done. Do you want my help with moving your things? Call me. So let's see the correct answer here. Kevin's brother Bob left the message to offer his help. Even though sometimes bro indicates a friend, not a brother, so it can mean both of them, but here I think it means brother. So bro can mean brother or a close friend, a brother, a real brother, or a close friend, Bob. But here we answered brother. So Kevin's brother Bob left the message to offer his help. He said here, do you want my help with moving? So how does Kevin feel? How do you think Kevin feels after seeing the message or listening to the message? Kevin feels happy and grateful. This is my opinion, that Kevin feels happy and grateful that his bro is offering to help him. What about the last message here, number 3? Hello, Kevin. This is Mr. Jackson from university admission. Unfortunately, we don't have any record of an offer of a university place for you. Please, could you call us at 234-7684 extension 43? Thank you. So the message is from, it's very obvious here, Mr. Jackson, and the reason for the message, let's look the answer here. Mr. Jackson from university admission left the message to tell him, meaning Kevin of course, that there is no place for him at the university. So how do you think Kevin feels after listening to this message? He feels sad and maybe frustrated, maybe irritated, disappointed, and so on. Continuing here with exercise C, scene 3. Bill has left a message for Kevin at home. Read the message and explain why Bill has left the message. So this is a message from Bill to Kevin. How does Bill feel? In pairs, write the voicemail message Kevin leaves for Mr. Jackson explaining the situation. So there's a little bit of a mix-up, and Bill here is explaining. Again, Bill has left a message for Kevin at home. We will be reading the message, explaining why Bill has left the message and how does Bill feel. And in pairs, you and your friend write the voicemail message Kevin leaves for Mr. Jackson explaining the situation. So this is the message here. Hi Kevin, you ran out of the door so quickly that I didn't have a chance to explain. That letter was not from the university offering you a place. It was an advertisement. I'm really sorry. Remember, Kevin took the letter and ran. He thought it was from the university, but it was an advertisement. He says here, I'm really sorry. I know how much you want to go to that college. Anyway, Mr. Jackson called and said they don't know who you are, so you had better call and explain the situation. So there's a little bit of mix-up because Kevin thought that he was accepted, and that's why he sent the letter to Mr. Jackson. Then Mr. Jackson called. He said, there's no reference of you applying to our university. I'll be back at 6 p.m. See you later. Bill. So this is the message, let's say, from Bill. So D here, how will the episode end? Work with a partner and make notes. Write a short description of the final scene. So here you write some notes about the final scene. Try to come up with the final scene for this story, let's say. Here are some notes. And here is the episode 8, Act 1, final scene. There are some details here: day, place, time of day, names of characters. And you can begin here by writing the name of the character is standing or sitting in the place here, wearing his, and so on. You can continue with writing the final scene. Jumping on to the writing corner. When writing a sitcom, so pay attention to these pointers here. When writing a sitcom, number 1 here, brainstorm ideas about funny scenes that you have experienced, heard about, or seen. So try to come up with ideas, funny ideas about some funny scenes that you have experienced, heard about, or seen. The second one, identify what makes them funny. So when you brainstorm the ideas, try to identify why are they funny. Research and read scripts from sitcoms, to get ideas. It doesn't hurt to read some scripts from sitcoms you've already watched, just to get some ideas. Picture each scene and write a draft description. Always write a draft, of course. Focus on the characters and list their characteristics. If possible, draw them, maybe to know how will they look like. Outline the events in the episode. Of course, this is important to outline the events. Go back and edit, replace, or add your material. Always edit your material. Give it to someone else to read before you finalize it. Of course, before you finalize it, give it to someone else to read, to give you feedback. Maybe more than just one person to give you their feedback, and maybe you will edit and change some things in the script. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.